Well, hello and welcome to Let's Get Mathy. Today we're going to learn how to use the splitting the middle term algorithm to factor a quadratic trinomial. That would be something of the form ax squared plus bx plus c when a isn't 1. What's an algorithm, you ask? Well, it's a big fancy word for a step-by-step process to achieve a certain goal. And our goal again is to factor a quadratic trinomial, that's something with 3 terms, into a product of 2 binomials again. But a is no longer going to equal 1. So that's where this algorithm comes into play. However, before you go to factor anything, you always want to examine the structure of the problem to make sure that this is the process that's going to work for you. So it does have to fit some criteria. First off, it's got to have 3 terms. And then secondly, always make sure that you've factored out a greatest common factor first, if possible. So if you said yes and yes, let's get started. All right, so I did tell you it's an algorithm. I know this looks like a lot. It's not that bad. I'm going to step you through it one bit at a time. And I do kind of have it color-coded because some of these steps are kind of done at the same time. Step 1 is going to eventually not be something you have to do. Until you get really good at this skill, I do want you to take that moment to identify A, B, and C. Because sometimes students don't recognize the subtraction signs and include them as negatives in their coefficients or constants. So after you identified A, B, and C, I'm going to have you go ahead and multiply A and C. I'm going to say that product then, we're going to use the letter D to represent that. Now we're back to what we've been doing, right? Remember how we've been looking for numbers that multiply to give us a certain product, then add up to give us a certain sum. We're going to kind of keep on that same trajectory. However, once we figure that out, we are going to do what's known as splitting the middle term. So this is where it gets its sort of namesake. So we're going to take that middle term, we're going to break it up into those 2 factors that we just found in step 3. So step 4 is where it gets its name, and then step 5 and 6 is essentially your new factoring techniques. You're going to now have 4 terms. The first 2 are going to have a greatest common factor, and then the second 2 terms are going to have a greatest common factor. Sometimes it's 1 or negative 1. That can be a little tricky, so we're not going to start off with those right away. Then step 6 is the woohoo, all done. Write your final answer as a product of 2 binomials. One of your binomials is going to be the greatest common factors, and the other binomial will be your common one. So let's see how this works in practice. All right, so we are going to start off by identifying A, B, and C. So that's where our key vocabulary comes into play. This is standard form of a trinomial or a quadratic trinomial. A equals 3, B equals 5, C equals 2. Include a negative if there was a subtraction sign. So for example, if this was a minus 2 at the end, you would include that as a negative 2. So we have identified A is 3, B is 5, C is 2. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply A times C. So that's 3 times 2. That equals 6. Now, remember I said that we're going to be doing what we had been doing? So again, I'm going to use that little factor wheel I like. And I'm just going to write out all my factors. So 3 and 2, 6 and 1. And remember how before we were looking for the factors that added up to our middle term? So now we kind of think a little mental math. Which one of these would equal 5? Ding, 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 ding. You got it. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So everything's kind of the same up to this point outside this little multiplying the A times C. Here comes the big moment when we learn why it's called splitting the middle term. So if we think about the word split, kind of means to break it up. And if we know what terms are, we know that that term is 5. That's our middle term. So I'm going to split that up into 3x plus 2x. And here's the super cool thing about this algorithm or technique. I could write it as 2x plus 3x. So again, in step 4, you're taking the middle term, which in this case is 5x, and you're splitting it into the two factors that equaled, in this case, 3 times 2, which was 6. Pretty cool stuff. So remember, this technique is called splitting the middle term. Here's where we split it. We can see that 5x is the sum of 3x plus 2x. And again, we got that 3 and 2 because those were the factors of 6 that added up to 5. You could also write it as 2x plus 3x. It'll work out either way. This is so cool. Such a cool thing. So again, considering why this technique is called splitting the middle term, it's because you're breaking up that middle term into two parts. It's still got to be equivalent to the original problem, right? 3 plus 2 still equals 5. So that's an important part to think about. All right, so we've done A times C. We figured out what the two factors were that we're going to add up to the middle term. So now in step 5, notice I have 4 terms. So the first 2 terms are going to have a greatest common factor. So sometimes when students are first learning this, I just draw a little squiggly line in there. You know, I just say, okay, let's just kind of forget that other half. Let's just pretend like this is what we were first doing. All right, so sometimes when my students are first learning this, I just draw a little squiggly line in there and I tell them, you know, let's just go ahead and ignore that half there. Isn't there a greatest common factor here that you can see? What is that greatest common factor? Well, I know 3 and 3 is definitely one. Oh, and they both have a variable term x. So now if I divide 3x squared by x, get x. 3x divided by 3x is 1. You might remember this as when we were doing our little upside down division sign. I know we've learned a lot in this section. And it's all coming together now. All right, so I've got that greatest common factor. I'm all done. No, we're not. Because remember, we have that other part of the problem that was hidden there. Actually, I moved the wrong thing. That 2x plus 2. So that's what I'm saying in this step 5. You have 4 terms. The first 2 have a greatest common factor, and the last 2 have a greatest common factor of 2 in this case. So 2x divided by 2 is x. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Oh my gosh, look at that! This is now where we're all done. All we have to do is write our final answer. So you might be noticing something here. I see an x plus 1 in both of these. The x plus 1 is what I am calling the common binomial. Aren't you glad you put all that work into knowing what these words meant at the beginning of the unit? Common binomial is x plus 1. And then my greatest common factors, my GCFs, are the 3x and 2 are the GCFs, greatest common factors. So what we're going to do is that's how we're going to write our answers. We're going to put our GCFs into one binomial and then write our common binomial in the next parentheses. Now you might be thinking, Mrs. Smiley, that looks a little bit off. There's no sign between the 3x and the 2. Is it positive or negative? Well, what's the 2? It's positive. We have just factored our original quadratic into a product of 2 binomials. You don't believe me, you say. Well, very easy to double check using our area method. Draw in our little window. We have our 3x plus 2 times x plus 1. All right, so x times 3x is 3x squared. X times 2 is 2x. 3x times 1 is 3x. And 2 times 1 is 2. Now look at that. See how when you split the middle term, you get those two. So you're working backwards to figure that out. It is such a nifty little technique. Now, one example is probably not enough because there's a whole lot in that algorithm. And I want to make sure that you see ones that do have a negative. So again, step 1, which eventually you won't have to do. Oh, hidden 1 in this case. Look at that. All right, so step 2, multiply a times c, which is 2 times negative 6. Negative 12. Step 3, I use my factor wheel. You guys could do it another way. Some people like listing them out. I see 4 and 3 as a factor, 6 and 2, 12 and 1. Now, because 12 is negative, remember this is the factors. They could be positive or negative. So what we're thinking now is more or less subtracting numbers to equal 1. So if I have 4 and 3, 6 and 2, 12 and 1, and I want the difference of those to equal 1, which one has a difference of 1? Yes! 4 and 3 it is, right? 4 minus 3 equals 1. So here it comes. Step 4, the namesake step. Splitting the middle term. So I need to split that 1x into 4x minus 3x. And I'm going to do that right here. 2x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 6. Whew. I'm going to pause, let you think about that. All right, so now we're back to our step 5, and then hallelujah, the finishing it all step. So again, remember I said, let's just take a little box here and just kind of forget about that, okay? I know I'm going to have a greatest common factor here, which 2x squared plus 4x. Well, 2 is definitely the biggest number that divide 2 and 4. They both have an x. 2x squared divided by 2x is x. 4x divided by 2x is 2. Voila. First 2 are done. Now I'm going to move that and just sort of ignore those other 2. So this little note here is very important. The signs of a common binomials must match. So I'm going to do this wrong first so you can see. Like looking at, the problem here, a lot of students might factor out a 3 and get this. And this is what I mean by this little sentence here. The signs of the common binomial, so the x plus 2, this is a negative x minus 2. So see how they're the opposite signs? That could be fixed by factoring out a negative 3. So when I factor out a negative 3, I get a positive x plus 2. And now my common binomials match. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong thing again. It's a little difficult sometimes. All right, step 6, everybody's favorite step, the final step, writing the final answer. So again, I'm going to collect all my GCFs. I'm going to then also write down my common binomial. So my GCFs were 2x, and it's kind of nice when you have to factor out the negative because the sign just comes up. Remember the last problem when I didn't have a sign there? All righty. And now I put the common binomial in there. And we're done. Isn't that amazing? Now comes the best part of it all. Your turn. All righty. So what I would like you guys to do is try this process. I'm going to be asking you some questions along the way, just for some quick little snapshot of understandings, okay? All right, so go ahead. Let's start this off. Step 1, identify A, B, and C. All right, so hopefully you got A equals 4, B equals 8, and C equals -5. Now we're going to want to go ahead and multiply A times C. What do you get with that product? All right, so steps 3 and 4 really comes in the big work here, right? The namesake steps. So we need to figure out factors of -20, and I pause. You guys need to figure out factors of -20 that would add up to +8. Alrighty, you guys. So what'd you get? Did you get 10 minus 2 equals 8? If you did, you are awesome. If you didn't, you're still awesome, because I guess what? You're going to learn from that mistake, which might even make you more awesome because you actually learned something. All right, now we come down to our final 2 steps. Step 5 is the big one. Can you now write this as a 4-term polynomial? So that, alrighty, you guys, we split that middle term. 8 is now 10 minus 2. What is the GCF of 4x squared plus 10x? 2x! Woo woo! Now, remember when I told you that there was some tricky ones? This is one. This is like the trickiest of the tricky. What do you notice about the -2x minus 5 and what we factored out of the last one? Did you guys notice they're a little similar? They are. They're just the opposite signs. And how do we change the signs in math? Multiplying or dividing by a -1. So if we factor out a -1, now, everybody, take a moment to figure out what your final answer is. Boop! There we have it. 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 5. The beauty of this is you can always multiply it back through with our little area model to check. Especially on those tester quizzes, you want to make sure that you're getting all your hard work is worth something. So I just want to make sure I didn't make a mistake with a sign or anything silly like that. What is 2x times 2x? That's 4x squared. 2x times -1, -2x. 2x times 5, 10x. 5 times -1 is -5. So I see the 4x, check, check. I see the -5, check, check. 10x minus 2 equals 8x. Whoop, whoop. You guys are so smart. So proud of you. It's okay if you made some mistakes. That's where the learning comes in. We all make mistakes every day. All right, so this has been Let's Get Mathy, little video on how to split the middle term. This technique works when you have a quadratic trinomial, particularly when a does not equal 1. It's very useful. All right. I've really enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you guys all have a great day.